let's explore, understand what this temporal adjuster is, and then we'll go ahead exploring this temporal adjuster and all the power that this temporal adjuster provides. They return us temporal object. Adjuster, but they will return as temporal object, and they are passed as parameter to a lot of methods in this datetime API, java.time package, and there's a lot of APIs will take this temporal adjuster object as its parameter. Let's understand. It's a strategy for adjusting temporal objects. So we plan to have this temporal object. So any method which is expecting temporal object will have to use this temporal object, temporal adjuster. The temporal defines a representation of date, time, or combination of both. So we can use it with date class, we can use it local time class, or we can use it local date time class, zone, and whatever classes, depending on the implementation we are going to be using. Where we would like to adjust the period, whether it was a date period we are adjusting, a time period adjusting, a date time period we are doing some adjustment in that particular date, all these places we can go in for this temporal. So there are a number of implementations which are available for this local date time, Israel date, Mingo date, Thai Buddhist date, and so on. And there is one more Japanese date. This new date time class has support for Islamic, this Mingyu date, that's the Republic of China, Taiwan, actually, the original China, Taiwan, and Thai Buddhist date. I told you yesterday, Hindu calendar is also on cards now. So we have support for Japanese date, we have support for Japanese, we already had, and I'm going to show you how to use chronology for Japanese dates as well. That is also I'll show you. So if I tell you what's the date today, you may say 4th of April, but a fellow following Islamic calendar will have this Hijra time. A fellow following Buddhist calendar may have some other time, and fellow following he's from Taiwan, the original only China. Two different calendars. The the People's Republic of China, that so-called China, follows one calendar, and the Taiwan follows one calendar. So I'm talking about the Taiwan part. So this Taiwan will also follow a calendar, that's Mingyu. I don't know how to pronounce that, Mingyu calendar. So they follow that calendar. So this temporal interface is implemented by all of them. That means in any kind of calendar, ISO calendar that we already used. Currently, the last example local date that I took, that was our ISO 8160 calendar. In that I already used. So that local date was our by default the ISO calendar that we have been talking about. So we have this ISO calendar, for that also it is working, and we have it for other calendars as well. That's what I want to emphasize. For Islamic calendar, for Buddhist calendar, for Chinese calendar, for any calendar, we can use this temporal adjuster. Let's use this. What we have various methods which are available in this temporal adjuster: day of week in month. So adjuster for ordinal of day in the week. For example, I can date of the second Tuesday in March. Day of the week in the month. So Tuesday is the day in the week of the month. So we can have such kind of adjusters. First day of the month is what we saw. Likewise, first day of the next month. So first day of the month will give the current dates ka first day of the month, and next date ka first day of the week in month is what we would like to have. In that case, we'll have to go in for first day of the next month, and so on. So there are additional classes also which are there. And first day of the next year. Okay, current year, whatever may be your year, and I would like to know first day of the next year. So that can also be handled. First day of the next year. Likewise, we have first day of the year, current year. Last day of the month, this month, that also we saw. Next or same. What does it say? An adjuster for the day of the next occurrence of the specific day of the week, or same day in case today matches required day of the week. Next or same, that means next week we would like to have same day kind of thing. I'll give you a demonstration of these interesting functions. Adjuster for the day of the next occurrence of the specific day of the week, or same day in case today matches the required day of the week. Let's see with the help of examples. And you will come across this class every now and then now. Temporal adjuster is something which will be used very often. Here we go. Now, API allows you to use adjuster for the APIs, this temporal adjuster API. For example, following will set the date to the last day of the month and so on. Let's see. I say local date time dot now. So I get today's date. Okay, date and time both. Look at that. Can you see that date and time both? Everything. So the date part as well as the time part. 19:07. That's 7 hours, 11 minutes, 4 seconds. So we got the date time now. And I'm saying local date time, last day of the month. How do I do that? Date time. That's my date and time with a temporal adjuster dot last day of the month. So temporal adjuster last day of the month. So what's the last day of the month? Let's explore. And I print the last day of the month. So last day of the month is 30th. So we have got this object, a new object. Note, no method will actually change the object. It will always return as new object. So we have got the next object, but that's for the last day of this current month. Okay, let's go ahead. Local date dot off. We have already explored this method. local date class, you want to instantiate objects. The simplest way to do that is pass the data, year, month and day. So I'm saying 5th of April 2020. So I have constructed this local date object, and I want to know today 5th of April or 5th of April, 5th of April. Here we go. Let's see the calendar. Can you see the calendar? Now if you look at this calendar, 5th of April was Sunday, and the next Sunday is going to be on 12th. So you plan to go for a movie next Sunday. Suppose अभी next Sunday तो possible नहीं है, but next to next Sunday 19th you want to go. But suppose there was no lockdown and we plan to go for a movie on next Sunday. And what's the day of the next Sunday is what we not want to know. So TemporalAdjuster.next, and we had a class day of the week we had used. So I say next what? Here we said TemporalAdjuster or last day of the month. Here I'm saying next. But what next? Any period I can give. So if you look at this next method, what is it taking right now as a parameter? It says day of the week. So I'm saying next day, which next Sunday. So after 5th, the next Sunday that comes on is on 12th. So let's see, do we get the local date for the next Sunday? And when we print it, watch it, we got next Sunday ka date. Okay, otherwise we will have to do the calculation, and it would have been very difficult for us to do the calculation. Likewise, I say local date, that's today's date. Okay, local date, that's today's date. We have created this local date object, that's today's date. I say today's date dot with very interesting method. TemporalAdjuster dot first day of the month. So it is again going to construct a new object for you and give you the object of type local date once again. And look at that. First day of the month is 1st of April. Next, I said TemporalAdjuster dot first day of the next month. It is 5th, 4th means April, and 5th will be April ke baad May. So I would like to have the first day of the next month. And when I print that, I got first day of the next month, 5th of May, kind of 1st of May, and so on. Now, TemporalAdjuster story doesn't get over here. This is just an example as to how do we start using this TemporalAdjuster. Now, a lot of examples you'll come across this TemporalAdjuster once again. Before that, let me take up another class called as instant. Okay, now instant, as the name says, it represents specific moment of time in on the timeline. Current instance, abhi kind of thing, you can say. Okay, instant is defined as an offset since origin, that is epoch, and I hope you remember epoch. Date के समय से 1st January 1970 00000 यानी midnight of 1st January 1970 से लेके अब तक कितना time हुआ है. So from the epoch, so it's a offset since यानी instant, this very moment from 1st January 1970 उसका कितना millisecond हुआ है, exactly that value will have instant. तो 1st January 1970 00 से, that is Greenwich Mean Time के हिसाब से वहाँ से अब तक how many milliseconds have passed or what's period we will get that. So if I say time is measured as 8640 seconds per day, so exactly these many seconds per day moving forward from the origin. Origin is 1st January 1970, that's the origin, and from that day onwards these many seconds per day will be moving forward. So that's instant. Don't worry, that's very brief information, but I'll demonstrate now. Along with that, we also need to be aware of a class called as duration. Instant and duration. Object represents period of time between two instant objects. That's the reason I'm discussing these three classes together, because दो instants है and दो instants में का period कितना है, duration कितना है, I would like to identify, comes in a class called as duration. So I want to know how old are you. So I have your birth date and I have today's date, and I want to know the duration between them, and the duration can be in terms of minutes, hours, seconds, days, years, month. I can do that. So I need to know the duration between them. Duration instant is immutable. So once it is created, you cannot change. Rather, most all the classes over here are immutable. Most of them are immutable. You can, however, create duration object based on another duration object via calculation method. So we have been doing that in all these classes. Examples with width and other thing, we have been constructing object. They appear to change the object, but they actually return as a new object after the change. One more class that we have to look at is a period. So we understood the purpose of duration. Duration was difference between two instants. Then what is period now? Period and duration classes can be used to represent amount of time. Determine the difference between two dates. Okay, then if they are used to do both, they are doing same. So what's the difference? Okay, can be used to represent amount of time or to determine difference between two dates. That means between two different instants, we can have duration or period. But then when do I use duration and when do I use period? That's the only understanding that we need to have. Period uses date-based values. I don't know how old are you? I'll take a period. And how much time did you take since the assignment was given to you? Morning I gave you an assignment and till now you have not finished. So I want to know, or you have submitted now. I want to know how much time it is. So time-based difference चाहिए आपको तो duration, and date-based difference चाहिए तो period. So two different class, period and duration. Period class is uses the unit year, month and day to represent the period of time. whereas duration will go to the exact time interval. Nanoseconds में बताएगा कितना time has been passed. So let's now take 3 examples at one time. Okay, let's start with this instant. Okay, let's start debugging the code from here. Instant. Here I say instant dot now. Now what I say now is going to talk about milliseconds. Every day 86,400 milliseconds per day, and from 1st January 1970 से लेके अब तक कितने milliseconds pass हुए हैं, that's the thing that it is going to give us. So it's going to give us that. So instant, I print that instant. So that's today's date is what we have got. But that's internally when we talk about it, although it is having all those components that we get to see over here, although it's having, but actually it's actually talking about only the seconds and nanoseconds. That means remember the date time class had date part as well as time part. Here that's not the case. It is talking about how many seconds and how many milliseconds in all have passed from 1st January 1970 midnight. Okay, that's 12:00 starting of that particular date. तो वहाँ से अब तक कितने milliseconds pass हुए, that's the time that. So there is no date part and there is no time part. This is formatted by the toString method of that particular class and displayed to us. Now whatever may be the date and time, this is instant 49 minutes or what second. It says date 13 hours 48 minutes 49 seconds. Okay. But then we say, sir, इतना तो time नहीं हुआ है. Time today right now is 7. Time today right now is 19 hours 9 so and so. अरे, it is not about this. It is talking about how much time has passed from that epoch. वहाँ से लेके अब तक how much what do you say milliseconds have passed. So it's only talking about, and then in this milliseconds I add 10 seconds. So this was seconds. In this seconds I add 10 more seconds, but it's going to return as a new object. So when I add this 10 seconds, look at this. This was 49, so that has now become 59. So 10 seconds have got added to that particular interval. Then I say instant dot plus period. याद रखो, duration for time and period for days. So I say instant plus period of days 1. So I would like to add 1 day. So today is 7th. So I would like to add one period of day, 1 day. So if I add 1 day, this 7 now becomes 8. I would like to add period of days 2 days minus. Plus कहा तो अभी इस instant में से मैं minus करना चाहूँगा 2 days. So if I'm going to minus those 2 days, our date was 7. 7 minus 2 now becomes 5. Okay. I say नहीं अभी hours minus करना है. तो hours minus करना I'm using duration. So I say instant minus duration number of hours 5. So I'm going to subtract 5 hours. So if I'm going to subtract 5 hours, it currently 13 hours है. So I'm going to subtract 5 hours. So 8 hours हो गया. I'm going to say instant minus duration of minutes. How many minutes am I subtracting now? 10 minutes. Your 48 is a minute, and I subtract 48 minutes, let's say 10 minutes. So that 38 minutes and so on. Something interesting. Now, I would like to create a local date time object using this instant as per the time zone. So I'm saying local date time dot of instant. Instant, keep in mind, instant, it may appear to you as if it's giving date time. Instant is actually not date time object. It's telling you number of milliseconds passed from 1st January 1970 से लेके अब तक कितने milliseconds pass हुए. Using that, you would like to create local date time object. So in that case, local date time of instance. We had used method of, wherein we pass day, month, year, okay, and time also. अगर date local date time है तो. But here I'm saying of instant. That means using this instant, and I'm saying using this time zone offset UTC. Okay, using this time zone object. Okay. So UTC is unknown variable for the current context. Okay, I could say Indian Standard Time, whichever short form I would like to have. So I'm just saying instant dot local time set. UTC is like your Greenwich Mean Time, base standard for what we take. And let's see the local date time that we have got. So based on that particular instant, we have got this date object and the time object. Time it has taken exactly 86,400 seconds per day. Using that, this is the time that we have. Using that, this is the date time object that has been created. Now let's turn our attention to duration and understand in detail. So I say duration of hours 1. So I'm going to get an object that represents one duration object. One. There is an interesting way to read it. It says 1 hour is 3,600 seconds. That's okay. And 0 nanosecond. That's okay. But when I'm clicking over here, can you see that? It says something PT1H. Can you see that? So PT stands for period. 1H stands for 1 hour. So that's how it represents a string representation. So it would have been nice if I had printed this. So let's print it so that we understand what is it actually printing. So instead of this printing seconds out of it, let me print this object and show you. I say 1 hour duration, 1 hour duration, and I print this object. And this object is 1 hour object. So let's debug the code from this point once again and see. So let's debug the code from this point and see. Instead of this point, we'll debug the code from that point. 1 hour duration I'm printing. I want to show you what does it print. Okay. So, and that's at times, let's see what does it printing now. Here we go. One PTH1, and then people get confused. What is this PTH1? Are PT this period. Let's say, let me tell you only what is 1h first. And let me also check what exactly this PT is. 1h, that's 1 hour. 1 hour. Why PT? I'll check it out. But 1 hour. So 1 hour. तो 1 hour के अंदर कितने seconds है? तो when I say seconds, 1 hour के अंदर इतने seconds है. Okay. I construct another object. Watch it very carefully. I say duration dot off. Off is a method in all this java.time package. It is always used to construct object. Huh? So I say duration off. I say one what? 1 hour. I could just use any period over here. 1 minute, 1 day. Chrono unit में जो भी आएगा. So chrono unit dot. So 1 century, 1 decade, 1 era, whatever I could use. Check it out forever क्या देगा. So 1 chrono unit dot 1 hour. So here we said of hours, we constructed object of type duration. Have you noticed one thing? In most of the cases, in any of these cases, we have not constructed object. We have always been calling factory methods to get the objects as per our choice. So I'm saying I would like to represent a duration. And what is the duration? Duration is 1. What 1? Chrono unit was that period what we have been talking about, standard that is used to represent any time frame, any frame. So chrono unit. So this chrono unit dot hours. So 1 hour ka object is what we'll get. Had I printed it, here we go. So that has how many seconds? It has 3600 seconds. 1 hour 2 dot get seconds. Here we go. I say local date time off. That was a regular object that we have created. So I'm constructing a local date time object saying 2020 January 31st hour minute second. So I've constructed an object, and I get another object. I construct 2016 March so and so. So this is the date and time when you had joined. Suppose this is the date and time when you had joined, or some date and time when some event occurred, and this is old date and this is another date. Okay, I gave a wrong reverse. Anyway, old date and new date. Rather, it should have been this should have been new date and this should have been old date. Anyway, I get this, and I print. Oh, the name itself is wrong. Let me make that correction. It will only confuse us later. So I'll just say this is my new date, and this is my old date. That's my old date. And if I want to have a difference between, so I'm going to take difference between, I'm going to say difference between old date and new date. Difference between old date and new date. Let's start once again. So I'm going to get duration, because we are talking about duration. Duration gives you in terms of time, and period gives you in terms of days, date. Here we go. So we have these two dates. One is new date, another is old date. I print old date and I print new date. These are all local date time object. So that's old date and this is the new date. So we have these two dates, and I wanted to know the difference between them. So duration dot between old date and new date. That's it. Done. And you'll get the duration. So here it says the duration. Let us print this duration, and it is these many seconds. Don't worry about it. Don't get tensed if it is in seconds, because we had seen one case. Even if I have seconds, there is a mechanism for us to convert these seconds into date kind of, but duration is in terms of time. So this has told you how much times have passed. But anyway, the time object we have got, I can say get second, get hours kind of thing. So how many hours have passed between that particular duration? I could actually check that. So we got this difference, and that was seconds. So how many hours have passed between those two things? So like get seconds, I could have just said get hours. I could have just called method get duration dot get second. Okay, no, not get hours. We have this seconds. It is returning as seconds, and then from seconds we'll have to convert it into various instant, and we can actually check it out. Let's debug this code once again. We got number of seconds that have passed. Huh? We got number of seconds that we have passed. Here we go, number of seconds. Now count the seconds between these two dates. So we got set between, and it has given us number of seconds that have passed between these two dates. Number of seconds that have passed. So I print this duration object here. That's where I get the information. What does it say? Watch it. Huh? This is that number maybe, but here we see. These are 59 seconds, 58 minutes, and these many hours. So it is 34,151 hours, 58 T. Okay, anyway, let's check. I'll check what T means. But anyway, these many hours, these many minutes, and these many seconds. So that work is being done. So even when I print this duration, I wanted to know the seconds between this old date and new date. How many hours have passed? There was too big a time, so these many hours have passed between that. Sorry, these many hours have passed between that old date and new date. How many minutes have passed between new date and old date? These many. Let's take a smaller duration so that it will make more sense for us. Let's take a duration only of 1 day. Say today is local date time dot now is what I'll take. New date. I'll say now. That would be better. Smaller duration. Let this be as it is. and we'll take a smaller duration so that we understand the difference. Here I go. I'll just get rid of this. I'll call now. So what have I done now? आज का जो day minus I have subtracted 1 day. 1 day is what I have subtracted from these 2 days, and then I get the difference between them. Then I get the difference between them. Again I get the duration, and I will print the duration. That will make more sense for us. It will be more meaningful, easy for us to understand. Otherwise, that 34,000 hours, and who will understand that difference, whether the answer is right or not. So let's do that. So small change we have made. Here I go. We got that difference in seconds, and we got difference in seconds between that two weird dates. Now I say local date time dot now. I got today's date. I say minus current dot 1 day. So I subtract 1 day from today's date, and then between the old date and new date, I get the duration, and I print the duration. Watch it. What is it saying? 24 hours. So the difference is exactly 24 hours. Last time we had hour, minute, seconds. We had this hour, minute, seconds over here. Okay, and that also we could have printed. I could have printed the duration 2 times. Here we have subtracted only exactly 1 day. We have gone back, so 24 hours difference. Here, if I had printed the duration, let's directly jump over here. Here, if I had printed the duration, 256. Here, if I had printed the duration, it would have given us the day, hour, minute, seconds, everything. Here we go. So it says these many hours. Sorry, these many hours, these many minutes, and these many seconds. That is what it was telling us. Next, we took a smaller duration, and we got 24 hours duration. Duration always in terms of time. So I have this object which is there, and I have to parse it. So it is like, look at this. Huh? It's 1 day and T for time. So it's 1 day, and in terms of time, it's 1 hour, 10 minutes, 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 10 seconds, whatever. Let's see whether it parses it correctly. So there is a string that I have supplied. Likewise, this string also I could have supplied. Whatever string we would like to have, we could supply that string. If the format matches, it is telling us in nanoseconds what it is, care from time. So it says in time, so it has parsed and converted into a duration. Now, to this particular duration, duration of day 1. 1 day is how many duration? That's 8644 seconds. So 8644 seconds. Let's do one thing. This is the duration that we had. Let's pass this duration over here for parsing. Let's pass this duration over here. So we pass the duration. Okay, these many hours, these many seconds, these many milliseconds is what I'm trying to say. So when I'm doing that, it will correctly pass that value as far as the format is right. So as long as the format is right, it will pass it correctly. Let's see, we passed it, and it has got the duration. So we got that object. The point is, it's not just the string representation that we are talking about. I had this period in terms of string representation, and I have converted into a period object, date of. I have converted into duration object, and that's in terms of number of milliseconds. And duration of 1 day, of day is 1. So what is the duration of 1 day? Duration of 1 day is 86,400 seconds. Okay, let's go to the one more class, that is period. Now, if you look at this period class, let's complete this at least. A period class, I say local date of 2018 to 20. That means February, January, February. 20th February 2018. That's start date. End date is, ये गलत हो रहा है. 2020. That's okay. 15th of January 2020. Now we are talking about two different dates. Maybe this year you joined some course, and this year the course gets over, kind of thing. Some 2 years diploma, degree program, kind of thing. I want to know the period between start date, end date. Now there, when we say between, we got in seconds. Here we're going to get the period in terms of days. Look at that now, period. No more millisecond. It says 1 year, 10 days, and 10 months and 26 days. That's how it is. So how long your internship lasted, kind of thing. So we got year, month, and days. So I'm printing the parts of it. Period, when I printed, it printed the object. How do I read this? I say 1 year, 10 months, and 26 days. But I want to know only the year part of it. So period dot get years. Look at this. Period dot get year 1. month 10 and 26 days. And for that we had methods called as get year, get month, and get days. Now I say of always used to construct an object. So I'm constructing an object which is of 3 years, 10 months and 10 days का period object मैंने create किया है. So once I talk about this period, let's see how many years we have. So it's a period of 3 years, 10 months, 10 days. So we have constructed a period. Maybe after 3 years something is going to happen. So you could just create a period and then you can add it. I'll show you how to do that. So I say period of 50 days. So when I say period of 50 days, let's print this thing and see period of 50 days means how many months? No year, no month, it's only 50 days. Okay. I say period of months. Here we say period of days. Now I'm saying period of month, 5 month का period. So 5 month का period में year component नहीं रहेगा. So if you look at this, it says 0 year, 5 months, 0 days. And if you period of year 10 साल के बाद, तो period of years if I take, तो years में years ही है, month और day हमने नहीं दिया. I can also have week का period. I can say period of week, 40 weeks. So 40 weeks is how many years? No. How many months, how many days? Okay. 40 weeks is 280 days. 40 weeks is 280 days. The week is what we have seen. Then I have this period. So let's read this period. It's 2 years, 3 months, and 5 days. So if I have period dot parse, we'll parse that particular period, and when you print it, it will print that particular object. But we are not retrieving that object right now. So now I say carry it from this. The difference is this was a string, but string was converted to period, and from that period I can get the days. That's 5 days. I can add to that period 50 more days. So it was 5-day period. I add 50 more days. If I add 50 more days, that 5-day has now become 55. Look at this, P2, P2, that remains the same. 3 months, 3 months, that remains the same. The duration of days has increased, 55 days. Now I say carry dot plus days 50. So I add 50 days and I get the days. If I add 50 days and I get the days, originally it was only 5 days. So if I add 50 days and I get the days, that's 55 days. Carry dot minus 1 month. So if I minus 1 month, let's see what happens. So 3, why? Because your original month had 3 months. Now 3 has now become 2 months, and so on. Next session, I'll cover the later part of it and we'll proceed further.